Let's go through the 9 uncommon side hustles in the real estate industry, because you want to get started investing in real estate, or maybe go further investing in real estate, but it takes money to make money. And that's the problem that a lot of people run into. So we're going to talk about the 9 businesses that can get you in the game and get you some cash flow going. We're going to talk about why it's valuable, what I would personally pay for this service, because these businesses are pain points for people in the business, like real estate agents, real estate investors, flippers, landlords, property managers, and general contractors. And I'm going to tell you what it takes to get started. After we go through the 9, I'm going to hit you with a speed round of 7 more ideas that I have. And like I said, these are uncommon ideas. These aren't the normal, hey, let's start a roofing company type of things. And then I'm going to show you how you can market for those businesses to get them up and running. But before we do that, I want you to understand the wealth time horizons. So we're here because we want to start creating wealth that lasts forever. Generational wealth, as they call it. So yes, we want rentals that give us monthly cash flow. And ultimately, that would be your short-term cash flow. You get paid by the rentals every month. But for right now, this is a long-term time horizon. It takes a while for those rentals to start putting money in your pocket in a way that's meaningful. Horizon number 2, the medium term, these are flips. These give you big swings of cash every 3 to 6 months, let's say, for some 8, maybe 12 months. But you're getting big chunks of cash, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 at a time. But it does take money to get started. Now, I've made a lot of videos about how you can get started for $0 down, but those are more advanced strategies. And the truth is, even if it takes $0 to get started, you really want to have some money in the bank. So today, we're going to talk about home service businesses that you can start today that will actually start putting money in your pocket. But you see, it's more than that. Because why home services over anything else? Of course, you can start any sort of business. And we are talking about side hustles here, because maybe you have a job already, or this could become your main hustle. But why is exposure? You want to get exposure to the real estate industry. You want to understand how things work. And not only that, but you want to start meeting people in the industries, the contractors, other real estate investors. And this will get your foot in the door in a way that's not as risky as going out and borrowing a bunch of money to start just with flipping. Number 2 is it's AI proof. Guys, this is why I've always liked real estate and home service businesses, things that go around real estate, because AI, computers, robots, they can't really break into this industry. You need people that know what they're doing to go out there and problem solve on a regular basis. And so this not only works today, but it's going to work for the near future. And finally, you get hands out of your pocket. Hands out of pocket. All right, when I first started out, in 2011, I didn't realize it at the time, but everybody has their hands in your pocket. All the profits that you might have made, they get taken away by real estate agents, title companies, contractors, insurance, this thing, that thing, and the other thing. And the thing that you do as you stay in business longer is you start getting hands out of your pocket. And what I mean by that is you start becoming the company that you, the real estate investor, hires. And this is the start right here, is these 9 side hustles. And so let's talk about them right now. These are 9 businesses that you can go out and start today. It's not going to take a big startup cost, an initial chunk of cash, and it's not going to take a lot of skills in most cases. Number 1 is when we're buying these houses, or when we have a tenant that moves out, we turn it over. It's called a turnover. There is all kinds of crap that gets left in the house. And you have to, before you start doing anything to monetize that property again, you have to get all the junk cleaned out of there. And this is why junk removal companies, trash out companies, trash haul off companies are really valuable to people like me, to property managers, to real estate investors, even real estate agents. When they go to sell their house, sometimes the person that's selling their house has all kinds of stuff in there that makes it really difficult to get great pictures of the property so that they can give a nice digital presentation of the property. And so they hire companies to come in and clean out all the trash, clean out the garage, clean the pool area in the back because there's all kinds of junk. And this can be really valuable because it doesn't take a lot of skills to get started. So we'll call this junk out, trash haul off. And so little skills, everybody in the industry needs it. And what do you need to get started? Well, you need a truck or something to haul away the junk, and you need a strong back. You need to not be afraid to go in there, put some gloves on, get the stuff cleaned out. And as you advance, you can get yourself a nice dump trailer. They cost, I don't know, probably around $5 to $10,000 right now, depending on the size that you get. But you haul the dump trailer to the job site, you pull up in the driveway, put all the trash in it, you go up to a dump. They're all over in your town. You probably don't know it already. Now, depending on the property, I mean, we pay $500 to multiple thousands of dollars to hire people to come in and junk out properties, depending on if you bought a hoarder's house or if a turnover for a tenant went wrong and there's all kinds of stuff in there. This can be really good money, and there's not a lot of people who want to go out and do this. Now, I know you may have heard of that one before, and maybe that one doesn't interest you very much, but I'm telling you, there is money in it. I mean, people have grown big companies doing this. And, you know, with all of these, you only start out doing it yourself. Once you become successful, once you get a marketing plan, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, you can really hire somebody to go in and do the dirty work, and you start really operating a business. Now, number two, this one is really important, and a lot of people don't think about this, but we actually, on every scope of work for a house flip or a rental project or even a turnover, we have a line item that has somebody go in and change out all the hinges, all the doorknobs, maybe the light fixtures, maybe the plumbing fixtures. And this is all easy stuff. I know it sounds hard, but I'm telling you, you look up a YouTube video, you know how to do this overnight. You change out the cabinet pulls, you change out the hardware in a bathroom, like the toilet paper holders, the towel holders. You change out the numbers on the front of the house, maybe the numbers on a mailbox. You make all the hardware match. We have a black matte line item. All hardware gets changed to black matte, or all hardware gets changed to stainless steel. And this really not necessarily increases the value of the house, but it definitely increases the perceived value of a house. When everything starts matching up, people start feeling really good about that property. And really, the things that make people feel off about a property are little things not lining up, little things like little paint nicks here and there, and hardware being all different. Maybe you got some chrome in one room, you got some stainless steel in the other, you have black matte in the kitchen, and those are little cues that throw people off. Same thing with a rental. All the things that help a house sell faster also help a house rent faster. And it's really difficult to find people just to go in there and do that job, because most contractors want a little bit of a bigger job. So this is a way that you can sneak in, get some money made. Like I said, we put hardware change out on all of our scopes of work, and I put around $1,500 for some bigger houses to do this job. Now, the prices that I'm giving are not necessarily what I pay, because a lot of times when I do a job like this, I have it coupled with other jobs that we're doing on the same site. But for a lot of people, they struggle to get somebody to come in and do this. Think about a real estate agent that's getting ready to sell a house. They want it to sell for top dollar. They might be willing to pay to have somebody go in there and do all these changes, make pictures show up a lot better. Now, number three, this one sucks for everybody. It sucks to find somebody to do this, and it's really not that hard of a thing to do. And like I said, it's hard to find people that are going to go in and they're going to do window repairs, including screens. So screens get busted out of all kinds of houses all the time. And they're really easy to put back in. I mean, you put a little bit of a foam thing around the edges and you squeeze it into place. You'd get used to it after you did a few of them. And then things like latches on windows, things like the old sliders don't work right. And if you can learn, which you can learn, this is simple stuff that you can find on YouTube. This would be very valuable for a real estate agent who's got an inspection resolution and they're trying to get this work done because whoever's buying the house, they're really concerned about those things. Or every time we have a tenant turnover, you have to look for these safety items like all the windows latch properly. And this would be valuable for a property manager who doesn't have their in-house maintenance crew to go out there and change out all those latches, upgrade just a little bit by offering glass replacement service as well. You just have to glaze new glass in, and some of the newer windows is a little bit harder, but a lot of the windows that are busted are in older types of windows that are like wood windows, and you glaze the window in, you put these little corner beads in, you do some caulking, you're good to go. This is good money for you. Depending on the window, you might get paid $50 to $100 per window in a house like this, and the tools to get started are very minimal. Very minimal. All right, number 4, when you go to sell a house or turn over a house, a big thing is pressure washing. But there's more than just this. All right, a lot of people change out their roofs, not because they're leaking, not because there's actual damage to it, but simply because they look bad. And so a lot of times what we have people come in and do is a soft wash on the roof. And, they use a pressure washer, but usually like set to a really low pressure. And then they use some kind of soap, whatever. You can buy it at the store. I mean, literally all you need is the pressure washer, and actually the soft wash. I don't even think you need a pressure washer. You probably do it with a hose. You just got to do some scrubbing. But this makes a roof look a lot better, increases the value of a house, increases the attractiveness of a house. And this is a case where the roof didn't need replaced. You could have cleaned it, made it look a lot nicer. Depending on where you live, roofs get dirty really quickly. We pay $500 to $1,000 to get a good roof cleaning, depending on the height of the roof. Now, number 5, another big one here. So a lot of people have to hire drywallers and painters for a remodel project. But what happens is through the project, things start getting scuffed up a little bit. Maybe some damage got done to the drywall. And, you have to have maybe the drywallers and painters come back, but in reality, that's not really part of their job. They already did their job. They left. So I'm talking about drywall and paint touch-ups, but not only on a remodel project where you're waiting till the end of the project and you have to come and do these small repairs. I'm talking about when you have a turnover from a tenant. There's all kinds of, pictures got hung, holes got put in the walls, scuffs on the wall. The paint needs a little bit of touch up here and there. You get a paint match, you get it done. This is a valuable thing because it's hard to find people to do these small jobs. And you see the theme here. These are little small things, but when you do a small thing on 20 different houses, it starts to add up. So if you can get really good and really efficient in your pricing on this small job, that will be very valuable to these people. So drywall touch up. And one other thing here is, especially when the market gets harder, you start to see a lot more staging that gets done. And sometimes when they do staging, they're hanging stuff on the wall and there's these little patches to make. A lot of times the stager will do this, but drywall and paint touch up, this is a great one. Number 6. Now this one is kind of a classic, but it's also a great opportunity. I've seen people grow these companies really well. They make a lot of money. Gutter guards and cleaning. So I'm not talking about a gutter hanging company or gutter repairs. Maybe you do small repairs, but I'm talking about cleaning out the gutters and doing gutter guards. Keeping rain off of a house is key to making sure there's no structural issues in the future. And when gutters get filled up with trash, normally leaves and brush and such, they don't work properly, the water starts to spill over the gutters or get behind the gutters onto the fascia. That's where rot starts to happen. That's where water gets next to the foundation, and then it starts to actually wreck the structure of the house. And so people need this service. And once again, sometimes you can get a landscaper to do this, but this is all the same thing. These small jobs are hard for people to come up with. You don't need a lot of tools for this. You need like a drill to install the gutter guards, and you need some bags to get the leaves out of there, maybe a leaf blower. Really cheap to get started. You just have to know how to market it. Now, number 7, when you go to sell or rent a house. This is another important line item that we put that doesn't really have a place, and we call it cutesy the front. You see, because the belief is that people make a judgment about a house within the first few things that they see on the house. Obviously, the first thing that they're going to see is when they pull up to the front of the house, they're going to see the landscaping in the front of the house or whatever door you're having them walk in. And we do a lot of things here. I put a budget for maybe $1,500, sometimes up to $2,500 for cutesy the front. This means to do some basic landscaping. I'm not talking about becoming a landscaping company where you're doing all kinds of hardscape and stuff. I'm talking about some mulch, some sort of edge to hold the mulch in. Maybe you put some plants in, but just little things like that make all the difference. And then I'm talking about a little bit of carpentry. We always pick 1 or 2 items on the front to make look nicer. So maybe you have like one of those old metal pillars that go up or posts that go up, and you wrap it in some wood. Now you have like a more modern craftsman look. Maybe you build like a little awning over the front door just to cutesy the front. Maybe you put some shutters on the front. You know, you build those wood ones that is just like slat, 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 diagonal slat. There you go. All of a sudden, it looks like a nice craftsman bungalow or whatever you want to call it. Instead of looking like a basic house, you give it a little bit of character for not that much money. This is very valuable, especially for house flippers. This adds just a little bit to the big 3. So this is a curb appeal company. I know you haven't heard of something like that because it probably doesn't exist. I'm trying to give you ideas that are a little bit out of the ordinary. Okay, now, project gets all done and you got a problem, because sure, maybe the contractors that you had come in there, they pushed, broom, mopped after they were done. You know, they got the dust away and such, but you get all kinds of crud inside of the windows, inside of the tracks of the windows. You get it, you know, behind the fridge, underneath the cabinets. You get them all in like the weird spots. It's not clean. It's not clean. There's drywall dust everywhere. There's just normal debris from the construction site. But you don't hire a house cleaner to go take care of this stuff. You hire a specific construction cleanup company. And usually the companies out here want to do house cleanings because they're really simple and they're good profit margins. So it's harder for us to find, maybe different in different places where you're investing, but it's hard to find people who want to just do post-construction cleanup. A lot of times we end up hiring house cleaners who do a poor job. So somebody that does a really good job, that specializes in post-construction cleanup, this could be really valuable. We have a line item for up to $500 for a post-construction cleanup. And, you know, once again, some of the prices that I'm talking about is I'm talking about what we pay. And obviously, you know, we have like a Costco type of mentality. We're doing a lot of volume with the contractors we work with. And so because of the volume, that means that they kind of take out their marketing expenses. So we usually get better prices than the general public. I'm talking about going out to the general public. They might spend $1,000 to $1,500 for a job like this. Number 9. Now, this one does take a little bit more skill, but if you really want to break into the real estate game, if you can learn these skills, you will be absolutely unstoppable. And this is just a normal handyman service. I know it's boring. It's been done a million times. It's not very uncommon. I'm sorry, don't worry. The speed round's coming up, so you're going to get some more ideas. But a handyman service, guys, if you become a handyman and you take the time to learn how to be a handyman, for one, your hourly rate is up there with some of the more like, skilled, specific skills like plumbing, electrical, mechanical. And in my opinion, a lot of times it's even more valuable. Somebody that can do a little bit of everything. There are just so many loose ends on a project. And if there's somebody that you can just send in to do all of it, it is so advantageous. It's so valuable for flippers, for any sort of landlord, any sort of property management company, real estate agents who have these inspection resolutions when they're going to sell a house. It is extremely valuable. But not only that, the break-in to being a real estate investor is so much easier when you know how to do everything on a house. Not everything in great detail, but you at least generalize in every subject on a house. You are so powerful when it comes to real estate investing. You're not scared of anything because you've seen it all. Now, let's do the speed round. These are 7 more businesses that I thought of that you guys might want to start. I'm going to use a clipboard here because it's going to be hard for me to remember all these things. Don't worry, I did actually sit down and think about all the businesses that I might start if I didn't have too much other crap going on. But once again, just like the other ones, these are little businesses that if it's done volume across a bunch of projects, this could be really valuable for you. Okay, flooring repair. I'm talking about fixing lifted seams. I'm talking about patching up LVP flooring, just like 1 or 2 pieces here and there. Maybe a closet is messed up. Maybe there's some water damage in a certain area. Maybe some hardwood floors in the bathrooms got damaged a little bit. But a lot of bigger contractors don't want to do these little tiny repairs. They want to do big jobs. Maybe repair is part of that. But I've seen general contractors, including myself, hire out stuff like this. So you got flooring repair. You got lighting fixture swaps. Now, I know we talked about hardware swaps earlier, but lighting specifically, this is always an issue, even for electricians. You might be able to get a contract with electricians who they don't want to go in and hang up all the lights. They just want to put their switches in. They make their money off of the rough end, and the trim out they would happily hire out because it's not that hard to do. There's a couple wires, you hook them up together, get the light fixture up there, you're good to go. It's safe. You shut the power off first. Caulking and seal repair. Every house that we go in has caulking issues. All right, caulk is like between your baseboard, sorry, I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the baseboard, but between your baseboard and your wall, between trim and walls, between the tub and the tile. This is an important one because between the tub and the tile, if the caulk is failing there, water will get behind the wall. Ultimately, it will destroy your house. Caulking between the tub and where the floor starts, another place where water can get in. Caulking behind the countertop where it meets the wall, another place where water could get in. And just caulking has 2 reasons. One is it makes things look better. It makes it look cohesive. You don't see the cracks. Like a lot of times if you go in and look at trim before it's been caulked, it looks like crap. After the caulk, it looks beautiful. It's like everything else you've seen. And then there's the water issue. All houses have these issues, and this could be really valuable for somebody. Usually you have to hire a painter to come in, but are you really going to hire a painter who wants to paint, 2,000 square feet of house to come in and do a little bit of caulk here and there? Probably not. Okay, door and trim adjustments, especially if you're in an area where there's 4 seasons, doors will shift and they need adjusting. And so a lot of times when we go to sell a house, that's a big item that comes up on almost every inspection resolution. This door is catching, it's rubbing, or, it won't latch correctly. Maybe somebody's putting in, some new doors or whatever, and they need a little bit of help. But a lot of value here. Once again, these are like pesky little things that people don't want to do. But if you can make a business of it, that would be great. A mini rental maintenance company. All right. Things like going in and changing out air filters, changing out fire alarms, changing out carbon monoxide. We talked about this in some of the other business, maybe a little bit of overlap here, but like door latches, batteries, loose toilet handles. All right, just a mini property maintenance company. And of course, you would market directly to property management companies who don't want to deal with that crap. Blinds and window treatments. That's another one. People move in, they have the blinds, they need to get blinds in. This one, you might be going more towards like retail customers, homeowners, but somebody buys a new house, probably doesn't have blinds in, and they have to go get sized and install for blinds all around their house. There might be 20 windows in there, and you can charge 20, 30, 40 bucks a pop. Appliance installation. This is another one that is usually offered by the company that you buy the appliances from. Like you go buy appliances from Home Depot, you can pay for them to install the appliances, but usually it's on the pricey end. And so we will usually hire somebody else to come in and do the appliance installation. There's a train. I'm going to keep talking. But another thing is a lot of investors, including myself, depending on the property, we don't buy appliances from somewhere like Home Depot. You might go buy some scratch and dent. You might have a hookup for like nice used appliances. I mean, for some rentals, we'll buy them off Facebook Marketplace, and there's no appliance installation that comes with that. One level up is if you can do appliance installation and appliance repair. Appliances break all the time. Finally, my least favorite thing to do, closet shelf installation. Now, I know there's companies out there that do like really advanced shelving systems, and you can have, all the things you want in there, and you do custom designs. I'm talking about literally putting the wire shelf with a bar on every rental turnover I do. We have to go do this. Every new rental that goes into service, every new flip, we have to go in there and do closet doors. And even after doing this for over a decade and hundreds of properties, I always forget to put that crap on my scope of work. Not always. A lot of times I do. And then you got to find somebody to do it. And it's a pesky little thing. I'll tell you what. Okay, now, next is how the heck do you market this stuff? First, I want to say that starting a business is a lot easier than you think. I'm going to hit you with that in just a second. But here are the steps. You're going to, 1, build a simple website. It's 2025, depending on when you're watching this. But if you don't have a website, people don't think you're legit. It's really hard to not have a home base online, but the thing is, it's super easy to do this. There are companies like TenWeb, Durable.ai, I think it's .ai. But anyway, literally it's AI, builds your website for you. You do a little bit of customizing with it, and there you go. I mean, within minutes, you can have a website off the ground. Now, not only do customers know that you're out there, but also Google knows you're out there, and that's where Google Business Profile comes into play. All right, when people go to search for a business, they go into Google and they type, hey, what about a business to hang closet shelves? Because that sucks. And what comes up is what they call the local map pack. These are the companies that it's going to come up first right after all the sponsored stuff, which we're going to talk about that in a second. But it's going to come up with the map next to it. And if you don't set up your Google Business Profile correctly, you are not going to show up there. And if you fill out everything in the Google Business Profile, one step up is if you post new pictures in there and keep posting new pictures in there. I know it's really tough, but just take a picture of yourself doing the thing, post it. Google really likes you. They're going to be inclined to put you first in that map pack, especially if what is said on your Google Business Profile matches what it says on your website. So you would say at the top of your webpage, you would say closet shelf installation, your city. And that would match what you were saying in your Google Business Profile. Make sure that your name, address, phone number all matches. Now, next, you got to throw a little bit of gasoline on that fire that you've started. So what you do is you get on Facebook groups for every city that I've ever been in, and it's a lot of them. There's always a Facebook group for local investors, for real estate agents. These are separate groups, property managers, landlords. Get in those groups, and they're asking for things like this. And you'll see these things come up a lot. That's where I got some of my ideas. Hey, is there anybody out there that can hang shelves in the closet? I can't find anybody who wants to do a job like that. And then you just get on there and you say, hey, yeah, I do that. Hire me. Great. Facebook groups and Facebook Marketplace. You'll probably notice this after I say it, but you'll see things like closet shelf installation in Facebook Marketplace for sale. I know it sucks that people do that, but it does work. Number 4. This is if you actually want business tomorrow, you're going to find the real estate agents, find the property managers. They're going to be really easy to find because they're also marketing themselves. You can find their phone number. You can find their email address. There's ways to find investors and stuff, but that gets a little bit more advanced. And literally, you're going to cold call them. That was an L. It sucks. I know. Everybody hates cold calling. But you know what? People hate being broke too. So depends which one you dislike more. I like to make money, therefore I would be willing to make cold calls if that was what was necessary to grow my business. You call them up, you say, hey, I saw that you're out there selling this house at this address, and I just wanted to let you know that I started a little company that's doing nothing but closet shelf installs because I know everybody hates it. I know it's really hard to find people that want to do that. So just put me on your list, give me a call. I'll do it for a good price to get started with you, blah, 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 blah. There you go. You're in. Make 10 calls, make 100 calls. I guarantee you will get business. You'll also perfect your pitch. And the great thing is, as you grow your business, you can get somebody else to do that for you. And finally, the most advanced strategy that we're going to talk about today is Google Ads and Meta Ads. So every time you're on Facebook, you see the little ads. Google Meta Abs is what I said. 6-pack. You see the, little videos, little carousel pictures that pop up on your Facebook or your Instagram. These are people paying to market their business. Or on Google, the first search results that say sponsored next to them, these are people that are paying to be at the top of the list. It will get you calls. It will get you what we call form submissions, where people go and fill out a form that you might have pre-made. It will get you business. If you want to take it to the next level, that's what you do. There are people who spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month on ads. In fact, for a lot of people, that's their only form of marketing. And I know a lot of people think like billboards and things like that, like offline marketing tactics. Maybe you want to get in a magazine or whatever. Guys, the efficiency of online digital advertisement is so powerful. Just learn how to do it. It's really simple. They make it super easy. They want you to spend money on ads. They make it easy for you to spend money on ads. Now, what hangs a lot of people up when they go thinking about starting their own small business, they think about starting a home service business like that, or any business for that matter, is they get hung up on all these things. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get an attorney to draft up all these legal documents, and I got to do, is it the LLC, or do I do the sole proprietorship, or do I do the C Corp or the S Corp or the blah, 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 blah. And a lot of people love talking about that stuff because it makes them sound super smart. But the truth is, a business is very simple. You need to have a product or a service, which we just talked about 16 of them, 17, 16. You need to have a service or a product. We have a service in this case. And you need to have a customer that's willing to pay you for it. Find that first. Go do some cold calls. Set up your website. You can set all this stuff up for cheap or free these days. And then go try to get some customers. Get a job, get them to pay you for that job, and then once you have some money coming in, then you can start worrying about those things. Guys, got to have a service, got to get some money for it. That's what a business is. All right? Don't get hung up with all the crap. All right. Well, once again, we talked about the wealth time horizons. Yes, I want you to own rentals. Yes, I want you to be generationally wealthy. I want you to flip houses to where you can make big swings of cash that really change your life, that really set you up to be able to buy more and more rentals. And those rentals eventually turn into monthly cash flow where you don't have to work. That it is passive income, but it takes years. No joke. Takes years, not going to happen overnight. Nothing good happens overnight. You got to build one step at a time. They're forced equity. And first, Start a business, get some cash flow coming in. It's going to get you exposure into the business. It's going to get you skills. Knowledge plus experience equals skills. It's going to expose you to the right people. It's going to get you comfortable in the game. It's going to set you up for all the things you want to do. Hope you liked the video, and I hope you go check out some more. Thanks.